What's up, guys? WhoNeedsMeta here with Cadigan, who's
behind the camera.
Exactly, yeah. So we pulled out a card for the 13 decks that the REDU Discord has labeled as the quote-unquote competitive decks. Like, this is like where it's under meta. This is the decks of Chaos Dragons, Agents, Six Samurai, Psychics, Inzectors, Heretics, Gravekeepers, Geargia, Gadgets, E-Heroes, which is typically Bubble Beat, at least now, because you have Excalibur and whatnot. Wind-Ups, Dino Rabbit, whether that be the regular variant or the one with ninjas, and then Dark Worlds. So these are the 13 decks that they have considered like the competitive ones, and we're going to go through a list of monsters, a list of spells, a list of traps, and what you can realistically either side for, side against, basically what matchups you might see certain side deck cards in. If maybe you're like not sure what your opponent might be siding, or you're not sure what you should side based on your side deck, we're just going to go over some of the most common. It's not going to be extremely comprehensive. It's going to be as comprehensive as we can make it, but there will obviously be outliers and stuff that we don't see. But we're just going to go through each and every one and see how this goes. First segment is basically all hand traps. So Max C, I'm putting them in the order like most likely to least likely you see them. Max C, Gemini Imps, Valor, Electric Virus, DD Crow. You're not going to see this as much as you would in other formats like Edison and Tengu, but it does still pop up a little bit. This is mostly to hit this card. It also hits Hornet, but this is like the most common thing you're going to see with this. E-Virus, it's just good in the Chaos Dragon mirror.
That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah,
like people aren't citing
so this is least likely here. Though this is mostly for your Chaos Dragon mirror. So you're going to see this for stealing like light pulsars and stuff. That's essentially what Virus is for.
I don't think you see people citing it in Geargia mirrors for like Yoink or Gigant, right? Like people aren't doing that.
I mean, you can. It's not that bad, but like Mind Control is just better. And we'll talk about that when we get to the spells.
Okay.
But this is essentially mostly for the Chaos Dragon matchup to like just go for games. If you steal their red men, you just like do whatever, or you steal their light pulsar and you can make your own like photon strike bouncer or whatever. So that's what that's for. This is a lot for Rabbit. It's good against Gadgets. It's okay against Gravekeepers. It's good against this. You have to remember in this matchup with Macrocosmos, if your deck is susceptible to Macrocosmos, this card is going to be not good outside of like turn one because you're not going to be able to do it under that. Imps is legitimately just for Dark World.
You know, like side use for Gravekeeper. But...
Except it does Royal Tribute catches a stray. So this is like, it catches a stray, Royal Tribute, and then Maxi is anything that likes Heretics, Wind-Ups, just the amount of special summoning is extremely high. This is the most commonly main deck hand trap in the format.
Because it hits like...
Like, the most commonly one is the third one. Like, the third one is... The other two are in the main deck. For
most people main two. Okay.
Most people will be maining the card, but that's kind of your most of your hand traps or whatever. This is the ones you're going to see. Again, this one not as much. This one mostly your Chaos Dragon mirror.
And Maxis for like wind up gear,
all your bird decks,
everything.
Gores. This I like bringing it in against Rabbit because they struggle with big monsters. Oh. So if you're a deck that doesn't side a continuous spell or like main a continuous spell or continuous trap, like Agents can use this pretty well. Chaos Dragons can obviously use that. They're most likely maining it. Right. Hero Beat can actually side it for the mirror. I think that...
For the mirror?
Because the deck kind of struggles if it doesn't have Miracle Fusion to get rid of this card. Like, yeah, Excalibur kind of does it, but like typically the deck has struggled in the past with like big beaters. But the biggest one that struggles with big beaters is Dino Rabbit. And this is good against OTK decks like Heretics where if you side deck Maxi and they're just like, I'm just going to take the challenge. Yeah. Some of those decks just will take the challenge, and this gives you something to draw into off your Maxi that can stop that. You don't really see Swift Scarecrow as much. Swift Scarecrow is kind of replaced Battle Fader because it can't be warninged unless you're playing a deck that needs the Tribute Summon, which is very rare. Yeah, we'll say very rare.
If Heretic was more popular, Swift Scarecrow would probably be more popular, but...
Next monster. This is another niche one, but I wanted to include it. This is for decks.
Night Assailant.
Night Assailant. Yeah, it's Night. Sorry, I don't have English ones. I grabbed as many English copies of cards that I had. This card, it's like the extra tour guide target in your deck that if your deck plays tour guide, you can side deck this against again Hero Beat, against Dino Rabbit, against any deck like Six Samurai as well. It's not bad against that deck. because it can kind of take a monster. So that's kind of where you want to bring this in. And especially if you're playing a deck like Agents or Chaos Dragons, where Chaos Dragons will main this, but Agents typically won't. It's mostly going to be in Agent side decks, but you do have to keep an eye out for this. If they're setting monsters, like, oh, it's probably a Stangan, I'm going to, like, extend or whatever. Or, like, I'm going to summon Thunder King, and then you get hit with this. It's like setting turn 1 and whatnot, yeah. This is, like, your pseudo snowman, so it's getting its hero beat and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, because like you can mill the other tour guide target. So like in decks I play Card Trooper or whatever, like the Trooper Agent. Dyna is kind of interesting. I don't really see it as often. It's a pretty niche side deck card, but Geargia kind of likes it because they can fade armor.
Oh.
You fade armor and then it's actually this. So yeah. So people will be like, oh, I need to extend because that's like, I need to push for game because if I give them a search, they're going to push me back. So they extend into it because not a lot of decks can just pop face down monsters.
Then, like, after a turn 1 set armor, if it sticks, they can flip, get their accelerator. If they have more, they can go off and then just, like, fill a board and then normal Dyna and then just push without fear of, like, course.
Yeah. The last monsters are the Cyber Dragon and the Chimera Tech. So there are some extra decks that can still fit this in, especially if you're a deck like, I'm going to side this in, and you're going to leave it up where they could Chimera Tech you back. Like if you're playing a machine deck, it's like, am I going to get Chimera Tech back? Like you're not going to get Chimera Tech back in windups. They don't have room for this card. Maybe game 2 and 3, they like might sideboard it in, but I don't see that in the windup matchup. But if you're playing a deck like Gadgets that doesn't need all of the spots, if you're playing a deck like Agents that doesn't need all the spots, Darkwold doesn't really need all the spots, but they're not going to side deck Cyber Dragon. But like, I mean, they could realistically cram this in, but again, they're not going to. But it's just more of the idea of doesn't need the extra deck. This deck doesn't need all of it.
Is that pretty much only coming? Is Cyber Dragon pretty much only coming in against like Geargia?
It's coming in against Geargia mostly, and if your deck gets absolutely plowed by Zenmaines.
Oh, so you can Chimera.
You can Chimera Tech the Zenmaines.
Are people still doing like the Edison era tech where they're like, okay, I'm facing, Dark World's gonna virus me for my lunch money. Do I side in a Cyber Dragon? Probably not, because it doesn't do anything, right?
So like decks that like have the room, like you have the room, that's pretty much it. Because like if you look at all the other ones, like this maybe. Like there's like some like it's like this or like it's like this or like Evgishki Marrowgeist. Like you're like down to that in the rank force because you don't have Cowboy, you don't have Dweller, and you don't have Corn. So this will have room for sure because like you don't have enough rank force and you're not going to play 3 Geigen in this variant because you just don't need it. There's not enough room. This deck isn't gonna like have it or whatever. This deck might, but like. The amount of like it's like I really wanted to cram like Tyrus and stuff like there, like it's really hard. This deck definitely not. This deck no, because you want to have room for like Nappy, Sparkion, maybe Landoys, Black Rose. If you like Synchros and Exceeds, like this deck can Synchro and Exceed, so you need it. This deck plays 3s, 4s, 5s, and Nagachi sometimes because you can do 2 with 2 Ladybugs. This needs all because again you have Birdman, so you have Stardust, Scrap Dragon. As well as like all your
suffice it to say it doesn't have room.
And this one like can, but it depends on the variant. The Karakuri variant, well, the pure build might, the Machina build might because they have to cram Big Eye. But again, the likelihood
suffice to say most things don't have room for Chimera Tech, but some things do.
Some things have room for the Chimera Tech. All right, let's get the Cyber Dragon out of here. Side deck cards or spells. Side deck spells. The most common one is the third MST.
It's good against a lot of things.
It's good against a lot of things.
Wind up, it hits Factory. Geargia hits all their back row.
I haven't seen Night Beams a lot. I've seen Dust Tornado more than Night Beam because you need to be able to hit stuff. And I guess we can pull out this card. Any deck that struggles with this card will typically side deck this card. So Messenger Piece is another common, and D-Fissure.
D-Fissure is the other one.
Yeah.
Factory occasionally hits some strays with that too.
Yeah, Factory could catch some strays. System Down, again, which same logic as if you don't have room for the Chimera Tech, you can play this.
Yep.
Some lists will even play both. This is mostly just for Agents. You will typically only see this in decks that can spam a bunch of monsters. So Agents will do it, like Geargia can do it. Agents will do it in the mirror. For sure. Like you won't really see it in Hero Beat because they can't like benefit from the additional monsters.
Yeah, they don't go wide enough.
Yeah, they just don't go wide enough. So decks that can go wide, but like You want like this deck can go wide, but it doesn't matter because it kills you no matter what.
Right.
So you don't need it. Again, and it's mostly just going to be a one of. Like you're like this deck is so much better that you don't really need it, but this deck can do it. But it's mostly just for the Agent Mirror, and it's like a one of. It's a very, very, very rarely side decked card. This is for Girgia again. Gravekeeper's catching strays.
Yeah.
They like to catch strays, but this is mostly for Girgia just to remove the armor. Speaking of like
what deck side messenger is it?
Inzectors and windups, yeah, are the biggest ones that side. Some windup lists will main deck this card.
Wow.
But
did Girgia ever?
I haven't seen
to,
it.
Like sit on armor.
It's possible, but like I don't think you really need to. I think that deck plays enough trap cards.
Okay.
Where like windups, like their trap lineup is smaller. Like it's like 8 to 12.
Instead of
where
like
Girgia's
14.
like 15. Yeah, I think the Girgia list I played today when we were testing was 15. Speaking of the Girgia mirror, if you're a rank 4 deck, this is like your rank 4 decks out to their rank 4 deck. So if you're a hero beat deck and you're playing against Girgia, just steal their armor and make something with this in your Stratos or your Bubble Man or whatever. Like that's like the most common thing is you could take their Gem Spark target and then you could do whatever you want. Like that's pretty much. I like this in like Cast Dragons and Agents. Any boss monster deck. If your boss monster deck, I like this card to protect your boss monster going second. It's just good. That's just what I like. Some decks will main it, some will side it, but you might see this if you're a back row deck, because like you have to bring this up. Like if you're a Gear Gator, you're like, oh, they summoned Arsenal or whatever. It's like, do I warning that or do I bottomless it? Like if I have the option, is like you have to remember that. Like, this card can come in. Like this card can come in. Like you have to like consider that as like, is it worth it? So that's why it's something to consider. With like again, if you're like, oh, I'm gonna definitely warning that Light Pulsar instead of bottomlessing it because of Lance. Like that is a real thing. Again, you typically like you're like, oh, I gotta go for it. It's like, but if you have to understand the game situation. This is literally for the Hero Mirror.
Yeah, nothing else.
That's the Hero Mirror. This makes.
Soul Taker.
Yeah, Soul Taker makes Light Pulsar mistiming. It makes other stuff mistiming. It makes the Shining mistiming. So again, your big monster decks. It doesn't really obviously work against our big boy Xian here, but like this deck big monster deck, but it's just gonna come back, so it's terrible here. So,
it's also not great against agents, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, but you make Shining mistiming, but you need to hit Christia.
Yeah.
Like if your deck loses to Christia, like that's if you're an Edison player and you're familiar with like, man, my deck loses to Christia and Vanity Scene, I need to side deck my Book of Moons. Your Soul Takers are essentially your Book of Moons.
Yeah. In
this format. So these are your three that like you need to hit Christia, you can make the Shining mistiming, you can make this mistiming. And that's like your big yeah. And then the last spell is Defissure. Inzectors can side this, windups can side this, and it hits the Dark World matchup and like the Cast Dragon matchup. Whereas, so like this is the debate of like if you're an Exceed deck, you have to think. So it's like, because if you're siding, where's our card?
Dig through the pile.
If you're side decking this, I'm gonna get rid of all these cards. You don't need them anymore. If you're side decking this card, and you're like, you have to figure out if it's worth it to bring it in, because like, are they gonna side Defissure or Macrocosmos? You have to think, all right, so windups can't side this because it puts all their materials in the graveyard. And then Inzectors can't side this because it puts the Hornet in the graveyard.
Yep.
They can't do the Hornet stuff, and they can't do the Ladybug stuff. So you can't do that. So, but the rest of them, I think, again, this is going to be...
I think Girgia is the main one.
Girgia is this
macro,
one.
right?
Yeah, Girgia is going to be your macro one for the most part. And obviously...
Oh, yeah. That's your Dino Rabbit doesn't care.
Yeah. In this card, yeah. Those are going to be like your main ones, where you're going to see Macrocosmos. Gadget's the same, but you can kind of lump all the machine decks kind of in together. Where these are the three that are going to be your Macrocosmos, where most of the other stuff is going to be Defissure. That can't side it. And then these obviously both hit your Dark Worlds.
Dark Worlds, Chaos Dragons. Anything that's super monster heavy.
Super, yeah. This deck will typically... I know this sounds weird. We'll typically side Defissure over Macrocosmos because if you activate Defissure, they have to either chain Shotgun Chain Maxi.
Oh, good. From the combo aspect.
Yeah. So if you're like...
Windups do that too.
Yeah, because I don't think Valor is good against this deck, but I think Maxi is because you can change it to Asceticism. You need to change it to Asceticism, so Maxi is just like infinitely better. So They will typically side this card, just because. Yeah,
Defissure's just
because it's faster and you want to stop the turn 1 Max C, because like that is a real play of like activate Defissure and they go chain Max C, like that's real. But like this card you can just like play and they can't do it. They have to like actively think about it and think you have it. So that's the debate around.
Yeah, you could definitely just
Defissure Max C. Where you
turn 1 activate Defissure and stare your opponent in the face and be like, "You gonna activate anything?"
Yeah, so that I think this card is mad underrated. It's really good against Geargia. Hat players will obviously be very familiar with how good this is against Geargia, and like pretty much everything that just plays trap cards can side it. Like you could just like swap your trap cards. Like obviously you're not gonna really side deck this in like a non-trap deck like Chaos Dragons.
It doesn't make much sense there.
Just because like a lot of people will leave in MSTs game 2 and 3. They'll board out heavy, which you should be doing. Not a lot of people like. I've seen that happen where it's like you're playing against a non-trap deck and they're like they keep heavy in. It's like just keep your spaces in if you're worried about like popping Decree. Like it's like the big one.
Are you speaking from the perspective of like Chaos Dragons or something? Like, or what?
If you're a deck and you're playing against Chaos Dragons,
okay,
and you're like people will like they forget to board out Heavy Storm. Like
against Chaos Dragons?
Yeah, like if you're playing against Gravekeepers, board out Monster Reborn. Like the card's not going to be good. Like it's like, oh, it's my staple. It's so good. It's like it's bad in the matchup. Get rid of the card. Like people like will forget to side out staples. Like there's some matchups that Dark Hole's bad against. Take the card out. Yeah, I just think this card's like really good against Geargia. It's pretty good against windups too, because they need like anything that needs to make something. It's good against Samurai because they need to make something.
It's good against agents.
This you're going to see sided in Dark Worlds. If you're think of like if I'm on a monster effect heavy deck. You're gonna see this. You're gonna see Skill Drain sided in against you.
Skill Drain and Dark Worlds, Chaos Dragons. Do they side it?
Not really. It's mostly just Dark Worlds.
I'm guessing Hero Beat doesn't side it.
Hero Beat can, just because like you can just return to Monkey, and just like if this card like single handedly like wins you the matchup, you just
do it because it just blanks like wind up.
It just blanks. Yeah, it just blanks the matchup where it's like, oh cool, they can make Gem Knight Pearl.
Ooh,
dang. Needle Sealing, again, this is going to be a card that's sided in Geargia. Geargia is going to side it. It's good against Heretics. It's good against Wind-Ups. It's
the Mirror.
I say the Mirror, so yeah.
Any go wide decks.
Yeah, that's mostly it. I will say the go wide deck that don't side anything against this card. They're going to pop it before you even get to it.
Oh, yeah.
But for the most part, and you can side it in this deck too. This deck
because for the same reason, because you have sets.
Yeah, you just have sets, yeah. So... yeah, that's I like Needle Sealing. Now we get to the debate of which one of these two cards is better. In my humble opinion, this card is better. And then it's also important to like recognize that like Rivalry is actually like better against Psychics, even though it's a one type deck, because everything they make in the extra deck is
not Psychic,
and that's kind of the whole point. And if they control Psychic, they can't drop Grand Soil. And so, if you have this, you can't do anything against this deck. They can still make Barkion. They can still make Beast. They can still summon Big Guy. Like, this doesn't do as much. So, like, if you want to go through and, like, hit, like, decks that is, like, okay against, like, side deck against, like, you can side. This is both.
Yeah, Wind Up is both.
This is only goes in because there are a bunch of different types. This is only both. This goes in.
Yeah, because of the types.
This is both, and like yeah.
I think Rivalry is worse for windups than goes in though.
Oh no! So we were saying hit both. This is worse for both of these.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
But both are applicable.
Both are applicable, but this is significantly worse for both. This is why I if your deck can pick between the two, I would pick Rivalry. So there are still Earths that they can make with this, and Rabbit and Rat, Rabbit or Earth.
Yep.
There are still technically Waters they can make with 2 Sharks. There are ways for them to play around it. This, you can still go Rabbit into 2 Sabersaurus, and then into Gem Knight Pearl. This, they can do nothing. Like, literally nothing. They can make, you get 2 dinosaurs on the board. Okay, cool. Pass.
Neat.
There are no, as far as I'm aware, no, like, real threatening fiends that Tour Guide can go into. Whereas Like this doesn't hit.
Is Acid Golem a fiend?
It's an aqua. I'm like 90% certain that card
That
is
tracks.
aqua. Yeah.
Tempo is a fiend.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Tempo is the only one. Yeah. Where it's like not threatening. And this is a rock water.
Acid Golem's a rock.
I have it sitting here. This is like even if windups can play this card, like I don't even think like this
I
is
don't
your
think they do. Yeah.
but this is your earth, but they can't make this card. Like that's what I'm saying. So this is why I believe that Rivalry is better than Gozen.
I think Rivalry hits Rogue harder than Gozen does on average as well.
I can agree with that. So
and it doesn't hurt Agents or Dark World because those are completely mono.
Agents can side this. Agents side this.
Not Rivalry?
No, because you want to be able to still make Android.
Oh, okay.
You still want to be able to do stuff. Like I just think this card,
Gotchi and
yeah,
stuff
I mean, you turn off Gotcha regardless.
Yeah.
You turn off Gotcha regardless. You turn off your extra deck regardless, but this still gives you access to Magical Android. And that's why I think it's like important to be able to still get a beater when you have like guys, because no one plays Birdman anymore.
Aw. Rip Birdman.
Rip Birdman. No one plays Birdman in that deck anymore.
So play Rivalry if you can.
Play Rivalry over Gozen, in my opinion. These cards, they're just
Stoppers.
So if your deck plays traps, you're more likely to see this. This is very rare though. I will say this is going to be from because most of the OTK decks are going to be playing this. So this, I was a firm 3 Decree Denier, but this deck is going to play it for the most part. This is going to play it.
Heretic won't because it's too fast.
That's going to play it. No, you can play it. You're going to play it in Heretic. You will for.
I thought they just wing beat you to death.
You can do wing beat. It depends.
Okay.
But this is going to see your decree decks for the most part. These are going to be mostly your decree deck. You can see it. I've seen some windup list side it, but I don't think you need it. Windups are going to be the deck that mostly sides this card if they do.
I think Girgia can also consider siding Trap Stun, but
just if the Kara Curry variant, I think, would more likely be the one to do that. But again, I just think Lance does what you kind of need to do.
So you don't need it.
Yeah. So this is why I think this card is just better. I was a 3 Decree Denier for the longest time. I was like, I'm just gonna brick on Decree, and then they kept popping, and I was like, I got another one. I played this deck, and I always sided 2 for the longest time, and I was like, I'm just gonna side 3 today. We're just gonna see what happens, and it was insane. So
to the counterpoint, a lot of people are already maining 2-3 MST. So if you're playing a deck that has a lot of back row and you're going up against one of these decks, consider keeping your MSTs in. Like David said earlier, maybe take the heavy out, but keep the spaces in if you fear getting decreed.
Yeah. The next one, this is Shadow Mirror. This is for Dark Worlds, mostly, almost entirely.
Again, Gravekeeper catching strays, but
but the deck doesn't do enough. It's just mostly for the guy. Now, I will say for the mirror, for the last card, because we didn't really talk. So this mirror is AIDS. It's terrible. It's the worst mirror this game has. It has to be. There's no way it is. 'Cause it's just vanilla beat. You need ways to discard that doesn't trigger your opponent's cards. So you have to side out.
You can't card destruction. You can't dealings. You can't drag down. You can't jar if you.
But you
jar.
also, as other decks, I wanted to talk about this card because this deck is going to side deck this card at 2 or 3, and if you're a deck like Insector, you have to kind of expect my opponent has an archetypal DD Crow that triggers all their guys. So that is something to consider. Also, a thing to consider with this deck, when you're going against it, is if you're worried about certain side deck cards, they can't really do the hand trap thing because they can't drag down. You can't drag down with a hand trap.
Oh, you mean Dark World can't side hand traps?
So if you're playing against it and you're like, do I need to worry? The thing is, some of them will cram Max C because the card's
good.
Good, but the rest of them they don't need this because they have Smog. They're not going to play this. They're not going to play this.
Yeah,
and they're not going to play this for the mirror because you plus off it. So this is going to be the only one, and it's going to be very, very rare if they even play it. I don't see a lot of lists playing this card. I personally think they side deck this. I think if the mirror gets popular enough, we're going to see people side decking Train's Archfiends, extra copies.
Just so they have something they can discard without triggering your opponent?
Essentially, yeah. Just so they have cards that they can discard that don't make your opponent discard so you can play the game.
I'd be okay if we don't see more.
If you don't main deck two, because some lists are like, if you bought tour guides, where like they don't want to play too many copies of cards that they can't drag down themselves.
Right.
So that's why you'll see stuff like this. So, and that's why you'll see like tour guide in the side if they don't main deck two. But I just think two is correct.
I've seen people for this against this matchup. I've seen people side either Shadow Mirror or Gemini Imps. Normally not both. Do you know when it's best to use one over the other?
Imps is just better, in my opinion.
Is it? Because like Imp stops like one thing, right?
That's usually the whole turn.
Okay.
But it's usually the whole turn. Now I will say with Imps, you do see this in threes a lot, and it's like because it's like one, it's not a minus for you because you just draw.
Yep.
Two, it's a level 4 monster, so if you brick on them, if you're playing a level rank 4 deck, you just summon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like, oh man, I can like flip armor, and then I can just normal this if I have like all of them.
Because like in my head, I'm like Shadow Mirror like stops Grapha from popping things. It stops beige and brown.
The thing is like if they have like a 2700 beater, a 3K with the field spell, like if your deck can't deal with that,
right? Because that can summon itself without.
You need to stop.
Shadow Mirror does not stop Grapha.
Now, now another thing that I will say, if you're this player and they have like this card, just a Macrocosmos. So this is something I was thinking about to play around this card. Because this card also has to discard to the graveyard. So if they side both of these, if this is up, they can't do this. So if you have the MST, activate the dealings, chain the space, and then they can't imps you.
Okay.
That's like something that like you have to think about. If you have the space, and they have this or DeFi up, dealings 1, MST 2, then so they can't imps you. Because this has to respond directly to the effect.
Ew. Don't give Dark World tips.
Don't give Dark World tips. Yeah. So that's like another thing that because you have to side deck the spaces for this. That's like the big thing about like decks that don't main space like this one or like Hero Beat or something. That like if there's like a card that shuts you down like Hero Beat, like you have to side deck the spaces.
Right.
Like if you're a deck like I can't main space, like this deck doesn't main space. You need to be able to hit the floodgate that stops you. Like is there a floodgate? So now you've kind of learned in the video. We've kind of gone over what floodgates are in each matchup. So like what decks can side certain floodgates so you can be like more aware of what you're like, man, I really need to like play around this card. Like, can my opponent side deck this? You can kind of make that decision now and be like, man, I have to worry about this. I have to worry about this floodgate as opposed to not worrying about the floodgate. Also, this is a floodgate against windups. It's a turn skip. This just skips their turn. So
Heretics as well.
Heretics will just go for it. If it's game 1, they're just gonna go for it. They're just gonna
take the challenge every time.
A lot of times you just say because the deck typically doesn't have follow up. So I would say like if you max C that deck, just be prepared to like you need like 3 monsters to do anything, and you just use 2 of them to get max seed. So that deck typically doesn't have follow up. Either you have the nuts or you have like no other cards. You're like 6 monsters, and it's like all right.
When's the optimal time to max C a Venus? Is it the first or the second Shine Ball?
It depends what's in your hand. Don't give me. It's like the philosophical debate here. I will say in this format, you have to keep in mind about Daigusto Phoenix, and if you're at low life. And you're like, oh, I need to draw into like something because the Daigusto Phoenix exists.
Just do it as early as possible.
And Dark Mist, yeah. So if you're worried about them just like Daigusto Phoenixing you for game, just do the first one because you need to see the card that stops the Phoenix. Yeah.
So, makes sense.
Yeah, that's all I got for this one. That's pretty much the biggest side deck cards you're going to see for all these stupid decks. Please come to the REDU event in February 28th and March 1st in Toledo, Ohio. It's going to be a really, really fun time, and I really look forward to seeing everybody there.
See ya.